What is an impossible crime? Is an impossible crime a crime? How does the question, is there an impossible crime, differ from the question, is the person liable for an impossible crime? We will try to answer all of these questions in this video. And our topic is impossible crimes under paragraph 2, article 4 of the revised penal code. Under sa ating luma na batas, wala pang article 4 paragraph 2, wala pang provision or article directly addressing impossible crimes. Sa luma kasi natin na batas, a person can only be held criminally liable if the commission of the crime is possible of commission. Kapag imposibleng makomit ang crime, the person will not be held criminally liable. Tapos, yung mababatas natin napansin na may mga tao palang ganun, likas na kriminal. At nagkataon lang na hindi sila nakakomit ng crime dahil may mga bagay na nangyari kaya naging imposible ang pag-commit ng crime. And why do we penalize the commission of impossible crimes? Kasi nga, gaya ng nasabi natin kanina, meron palang mga taong we consider as potential criminals, tao na mapanganib sa lipunan. And according to the positivist school, the community must be protected from antisocial activities and from socially dangerous persons. Kasi nga, talagang gusto pa rin nilang mag-commit ng crime, pero hindi lang nila na-commit dahil naging imposible ang pag-commit ng crime. Is impossible crime really a crime? No, an impossible crime is not really a crime. Kasi remember, gusto nilang mag-commit ng crime, pero may nangyari, kaya naging imposible ang pag-commit nito. Ibig sabihin, wala silang na-commit na crime. Pero, bakit sila pinapunish? Kasi objectively, the offender has not committed a crime. But subjectively, he is a criminal. Kasi nga although objectively, wala talaga siyang nakumit na crime. Kasi nga, imposible ang pag-commit ng crime na yon. Pero subjectively, masasabi natin na isa pa rin siyang criminal. Kasi meron siyang criminal tendency at meron siyang criminal propensity. To reiterate, the person who committed an impossible crime has not really committed a crime because of inherent impossibility or on account of ineffectual or inadequate means. Wala talaga siyang crime na nakumit. But why is he being punished? He will be penalized under our law because we consider him as a danger to our society. Kasi meron pa rin siyang criminal tendency and criminal propensity. And because he will be penalized and he will be punished, what will be the penalty? The penalty can be found under Article 59. And the penalty is arresto mayor or a fine from 200 to 500 pesos. So take note of the word or. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng arresto mayor lang or pwedeng hindi arresto mayor, fine lang from 200 to 500 pesos. Now let's go to Article 4, Paragraph 2. Criminal liability shall be incurred by any person performing an act which would be an offense against persons or property were it not for the inherent impossibility of its accomplishment or on account of the employment of inadequate or ineffectual means. What is an impossible crime? Ang definition ng impossible crime andito na sa paragraph 2 of Article 4. Eto, an impossible crime is an act which would be an offense against persons or property were it not for the inherent impossibility of its accomplishment or on account of the employment of inadequate or ineffectual means. Now, what are the requisites or what are the requirements in order for impossible crime to exist? Now, there are 4 requisites. And let's go to number 1, that the act performed would be an offense against persons or property. Now, these are the crimes against persons, which can be found under Title 8 of the Revised Penal Code. So, eto yun sila yung Title 8, Crimes Against Persons. We have parricide, murder, homicide, infanticide, abortion, duel, physical injuries, serious, less serious, and slight. Then we have rape. Take note sa rape, it is already a crime against person. Before, it falls under crime against chastity. Pero ngayon, against persons na siya. So, ang rape, pwede na siyang maging impossible crime. And then we have felonies against property. Under Title 10 of the Revised Penal Code, robbery, brigandage, theft, usurpation, culpable insolvency, swindling and other deceits, or yung estafa, chattel mortgage, arson and other crimes involving destruction, and malicious mischief. Now, to better understand the requirement number 1, let's provide an example. A paid B to kidnap C. B forcibly took a person who fit the description of C and locked him up inside a room where he was also tied. When A arrived at the place, he discovered that the kidnapped person was not C, but a stranger. So sa scenario na to, hindi pala yun si C, ibang tao pala. Now the question is, may nakumit ba na impossible crime dito? Take note of the first requirement. Kailangan yung crime na yon must be any of the crimes against person or any of the crimes against property. Etong kidnapping ba? Is it a crime against person? Hindi, di ba? Kasi kidnapping is a crime against liberty. There is no impossible crime because the act performed is not an offense against person or property. Kidnapping is a crime against liberty. Since wala yung first requirement, walang impossible crime sa case na to. Second example, A is the houseboy of B, a very sexy and young widow. A always sexually fantasized about being with B. One night, A could no longer control his urge, so he went to the bed where B was sleeping. She undressed B and perpetrated the dastardly act. He did not know that B died an hour earlier. The question is there an impossible crime in this case? Now, itong rape ba, is it a crime against person or a crime against property? Yes. Di ba? Andito siya kanina. Article 266-A. So, rape is a crime against person. And therefore, there is an impossible crime of rape. So, sa example na to, merong impossible crime because of the first requisite or requirement. Now, let's go to the second requisite, which is that the act was done with evil intent. So, ang ibig lang sabihin nito is, the offender must have the intent to cause injury to another. Kailangang sinadya niya. Meron siyang intensyon. Meron siyang deliberate intent. What is the meaning of the second requirement? Na that the act was done with evil intent. Ang ibig sabihin lang nito is there is no such thing as impossible crime by imprudence or by negligence. And there is no such thing as impossible crime by omission. Now, let us go to the third requisite, which is that its accomplishment is inherently impossible or that the means employed is either inadequate or ineffectual. So merong tatlo. And let's go to the first one, that the accomplishment is inherently impossible. Now example, A had a grudge against B. One night, A went to the house of B while everybody was sleeping. He approached the bed where B was sleeping and sliced his throat. Unknown to A, B already died in his sleep an hour before because of heart attack. So kung titignan natin yung first requirement, is this a crime against person? Yes, either homicide or murder. The second requirement is, merong evil intent? Yes. And then the third requirement is it inherently impossible? And yes. Kasi nga, nung in-slice niya na yung throat, patay na pala si B. So hindi mo na pwedeng patayin ang patay na. Another example, A stole the wallet of B while they were riding the train. When he came back home, A looked at the wallet and discovered it was his own wallet, which he lost 2 days ago. So dito, is it a crime against person or property? Yes. Theft or robbery is a crime against property. So pasok ang first requirement. Second requirement, it is with evil intent. And then third requirement, it is inherently impossible. Kasi nga, hindi mo pwedeng nakawin ang sayo. Kasi he found out later on na sa kanya pala yung wallet. So there is an impossible crime here. Next, we have the employment of inadequate means or hindi sapat. Example, A wanted to poison B for being a cancer in Mobile Legends. During merienda, A mixed a small quantity of arsenic into the food of B, thinking it was sufficient. B did not die because the arsenic was not sufficient. So, imposible talaga na malason si B kasi nga hindi sapat yung nilagay. And this is an example of an employment of inadequate means. Another example, A wanted to poison B, his workmate. During office break, A mixed arsenic into the food of B, enough to kill an ordinary person. Unknown to A, B developed a strong resistance to poison. So ang nilagay niya naman dito is enough to kill a person. Now the question is there an impossible crime here? The answer is, there is no impossible crime. Kasi itong nakumit niya, it's already frustrated murder. Remember that under Article 6, a crime is in the frustrated stage if the offender performs all the acts of execution which would produce the felony as a consequence but which nevertheless do not produce it by reason of causes independent of the will of the perpetrator. Now, tignan nyo ang example na ito. Ang nilagay niya is enough to kill a person. So kahit sinong person pa yon, mamamatay. Kasi nga yung nilagay niya na arsenic is sufficient para pumatay ng tao. Pero sa kaso na to, nagkaroon lang kasi ng resistance si B. Siguro because of the nature of his or her work. Kaya nagkaroon siya ng resistance. Kaya hindi niya napatay. Itong resistance na to, strong resistance to poison, ito yung sinasabi natin sa Article 6 na a cause independent of the will of the perpetrator. Remember that in this scenario, A already performed all the acts of execution. Naglagay siya ng poison sa pagkain at talagang kinain na niya ni B. Ang kulang na lang is mamatay si B. Pero hindi nga siya namatay kasi nakadevelop siya ng strong resistance. And that is a cause independent of the will of the perpetrator under Article 6. Kaya nasa frustrated stage na siya ng murder. So yan ang kaibahan nila sa first example. Sa first example kasi dito, yung quantity ng arsenic, it's not sufficient. So kahit sino pang i-poison niya, hindi talaga mamamatay. Kaya naging imposible. Imposibleng mapatay ang kahit sinong tao. Kasi the quantity is not enough. Pero dito, posibleng mamatay yung tao kasi it is enough to kill an ordinary person. Nagkataon lang talaga na B developed a strong resistance to poison. Kaya, frustrated murder dito. Now yan ngayon, ang isang babantayan natin when it comes to impossible crime. Ano ba ang kaibahan ng impossible crime sa attempted or frustrated stage ng crime? Kasi meron silang similarities. Now, sa impossible crime, the evil intent cannot be accomplished. Take note of the word cannot. Under any circumstance, hindi talaga siya ma-accomplish kasi nga imposible. Pero sa attempted or frustrated, the evil intent is possible of accomplishment. There is a possibility of committing the crime. Pero, yung evil intent niya is not accomplished because of the intervention of certain cause or accident in which the offender had no part. Ito naman sa impossible crime, the person cannot commit the crime because either it is inherently impossible or either he employed an inadequate means or an ineffectual means. So sa impossible crime, under any circumstance talaga, hindi niya makukumit yung crime. Pero sa attempted or frustrated, talagang may possibility na makumit niya yung crime. Pero dahil lang sa mga causes or accidents in which the offender had no part, hindi niya nakumit yung crime. Hindi niya na-consummate. Then we have letter C, employment of ineffectual means, o ang paggamit ng pamamaraan na hindi mabisa. Example, A wanted to poison B, so he put something in the food of B. A thought it was arsenic, but it was just salt. So imposibleng mapatay si B kasi nga hindi naman siya arsenic, asin pala. A had a grudge against B. Armed with his father's gun, A followed B one night and aimed his gun at the back of B. When he pulled the trigger, the gun did not fire because there were no bullets inside. So in this example, it's impossible to shoot B and kill him because there were no bullets inside. So this is an example of an impossible crime. But take this example. A is the enemy of B. When B saw A going home from work, he approached A, drew out his gun and pointed it at A. When he pulled the trigger, the gun did not fire because the bullet in the chamber was already old. So sa example kanina, there were no bullets inside. Pero sa example na to, merong bullet sa loob ng chamber. Pero hindi lang pumutok kasi masyado nang old yung bullet. So is this an example of an impossible crime? The answer is no. Kasi dito sa case na to, attempted homicide na. Remember yung difference ng impossible crime at saka attempted or frustrated crime. Dito, it is possible of commission. Talagang pwede niyang mapatay. Nagkataon lang na yung bullet is already old. While in the previous example that we have, imposible na mapatay kasi nga walang bullet inside the chamber. Then let's go to the last requisite, which is that the act performed should not constitute a violation of another provision of the revised penal code. So sa pag-commit niya ng impossible crime, kailangan wala siyang nakumit na ibang crime under the revised penal code. Kailangan yung impossible crime lang ang nakumit niya. Kasi nga, remember, yung pinag-usapan natin early in this video, we only penalize the commission of impossible crime kasi hindi siya nakakumit ng crime, pero he is considered subjectively as a criminal kasi he is a danger to the society and he has a criminal tendency or propensity. Kailangan natin siyang i-punish. Since walang penalty, hindi siya pwedeng i-punish kasi wala siyang nakumit na crime, ipapunish natin siya ngayon under sa impossible crime. Pero kapag meron namang nakumit na ibang crime while he was committing an impossible crime, then we apply the penalty for the other crime that he committed at hindi na dito sa impossible crime. Kaya itong question na is there an impossible crime is different from the question is he liable for an impossible crime? Kung titignan mo yung isang scenario, kapag nandoon lahat yung mga requisites from 1 to 3, there is an impossible crime. Pero kapag may nakumit na other crimes aside sa impossible crime, then that person will no longer be liable for an impossible crime, but he will be liable for the commission of the other crime. Para mas maintindihan pa natin ito, let's provide an example. A and B are neighbors who hate each other. A wanted to kill B, so A climbed the house of B through the window and stabbed B on the chest. He did not know that B died a few hours ago because of nightmare. First question, is there an impossible crime? Kung titignan natin yung first three requisites or requirements in order for impossible crime to exist, present silang lahat. First, that it is a crime against person. Ito, it's either homicide or murder. So it is a crime against person. Second, that it is committed with evil intent. Check. And then, third requirement is that the accomplishment is inherently impossible. So syempre, inherently impossible siya kasi patay na pala siya a few hours ago because of nightmare. So it's impossible to kill a person who is already dead. So sa letter A, sa question na is there an impossible crime? The answer is yes. Now how about sa letter B? Is he liable for an impossible crime? The answer is no. Kasi nga, let's take a look at the fourth requirement, that the act performed should not constitute a violation of another provision of the revised penal code. Now sa example na to, did he commit another crime? Yes, he committed the crime of qualified trespass to dwelling. Kasi pumunta siya sa bahay ni B and that constitutes trespass. Since he committed another crime falling under the revised penal code, he will no longer be liable for the commission of the impossible crime but for qualified trespass to dwelling. Since meron ng penalty, yung penalty for Article 280 ang i-impose natin. Kasi nga again, mag-impose lang tayo ng penalty sa commission ng impossible crime kasi wala tayong penalty na ma-impose sa kanya kasi nga hindi siya nakakommit ng crime. Kaya we put in place Article 4 Paragraph 2 para mapunish pa rin siya kasi meron siyang criminal tendency or propensity. Pero sa case na to, since meron naman pala siyang nakomit na isa pang crime, then we will penalize him under that other crime. Itong qualified trespass to dwelling. That is now the difference between the question letter A and the question letter B. Now, although the act done by A against B constitutes an impossible crime, so sa question na is there an impossible crime? Yes. It is the principle of criminal law that the offender shall be punished for an impossible crime only when his act cannot be punished under some other provision in the revised penal code. So that's it with respect sa impossible crime. Sana may natutunan kayo, and once again, I appreciate your time and thank you for listening. Till the next time.